take a walk and share with you a couple of thoughts. See, last year at this time, okay, Pipe Pals, I'm back with another video. Old Holy Smoking Pipe Padre coming back at you. I'm right there. The camera is right there. Yeah, okay. And so it is the first day of daylight saving time. And let me get this down just a tad. That's a little bit better. Okay. And I am here with my wonderful Dunhills. This is my very first Dunhill cherry wood. You can see that right there. Yeah. Okay. And and I've got smoking in it some Paradise from Boswell's. Wonderful. Ow. Oops, got a little ash on me there. But I got to tell you that this is delicious. I remember having this pipe back in about 10 years ago. I'm a little scatterbrained because I'm trying some different things here. Some new audio equipment. I've got my SM7B right here. And I've got the brand new Rode NTG3 right here. So I'm trying to do a stereo recording just to see if it works. I don't know if this is going to work or not. It's kind of strange. It's getting a little bit of an echo, and I might have to fix that in post. I don't know. I have, in the last maybe 2 weeks, made 2 different videos. Now this will be like the 4th, and I'm just trying to, every time I sit down to make a video, I feel like, well, there's more I could do, more I could say. And I just have different things I want to talk about tonight. So I'm gonna try one more time to see if I can get this to work. Many of you who have followed me through the years know that I've tried different things, and sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. But anyway, so it's March the 10th, I think, and again we're in the first full day of daylight saving time. So kind of went for a walk earlier this evening. Again, the sun's still out. It's almost 6:30, and it's starting to probably get about dusk now. But I just love this time of year, and it does. I didn't like it for a long time, but in the last 4 or 5 years, I have to say I've kind of warmed up to daylight saving time. I usually get up early, and I feel like I've got more time to do more things and be more creative. And so that's what I am doing tonight, as I'm taking time out to make a video for you, and hopefully you will enjoy what I'm creating here tonight. So this little pipe, let me just tell you a little pipe story. They're pipe pals and gals. About 10 years ago, I got this little Dunhill cherry wood. It was my first cherry wood. And it was at the Briar Patch in the mall, Arden Fair Mall. That's where I also have an Apple store. Another one of my problem addictions. And if you remember 10 years ago, I lost an awful lot of weight. Since then, I've gained about 50% of it back, and I'm now on another weight loss journey. I started the first of this year, and I'm getting down to one of my first goal weights, and when I get there, I'll share that with you. But I was at 270, and I got down eventually to 174. So I was about 4 pounds shy of losing 100 pounds. And I did it with a lot of exercise and mostly fasting. And I did clean up my diet. I did kind of do what was back then considered like the Atkins diet, the the ketogenic diet, I guess, or the primal. It was actually the primal blueprint Mark Sisson diet. And yeah, so I did pretty good, but on a couple of fast days, and I remember it was a Wednesday, I believe, and I had been fasting pretty much 24 hours, and I was hungry, and I remember going into the Briar Patch and buying this beautiful little Dunhill cherry wood. Yeah. She's a good girl. Yes, she is. And so it was interesting because you couldn't smoke in the mall, but for some reason, the Tinderbox or the Briar Patch store was exempt from that, so you could smoke inside their store, which is a lovely store. And so I made the purchase. I loaded up with some delicious, I think it was Blue Mountain. Yes, I remember, Blue Mountain. I hope they still make that. Maybe I could order some. But Blue Mountain, oh, it was good. And I remember enjoying some coffee. This is decaf. I'm still doing my decaf here. But the thing was, just the taste of that coffee and that pipe tobacco was almost like food. It just was, nourishing the old soul there, folks. I'm telling you. I remember just being fortified with a Blue Mountain pipe and some coffee. And that got me down the road, I think, quite a while. So it was wonderful. I just loved it. So maybe you have pipe stories like that where the pipe really kind of just got you through some difficult time. Maybe that's something that you can share in the comments. So what I'm doing now is I'm just trying to, I've been watching a lot of different videos. There's a young guy who's a master at fasting. He was a portly little guy about 5 months ago, and he's lost about 70 pounds in 4.5 months. Yeah, that's a lot in 4.5 months. And he did it by not just, I've been doing alternate day fasting, but what he does is he does a 4-day fast, 96 hours, and then he breaks his fast for 4 to 6 hours and eats whatever he wants. And he doesn't really eat a lot of junk food. I have to notice he showed what he eats, and he usually tries to use it to celebrate with friends and family. It's like, okay, I'm going to eat on this day this week, so let's get together. And so they maybe go out to a restaurant and they have some nice food, but he'll eat a lot of calories. But then the very next day he gets back on his 4-day fast cycle and rinse and repeat. And he's done a lot of incredible weight loss. And so I'm trying to kind of do that myself. Now I started on Thursday of last week, and so I'm at a little over 72 hours now, and I'm going to try and extend it to 96 hours, and then I will see where the old scale's at, and then if I'm successful, and I think I'm going to be relatively successful in reaching a new goal, I'll share that with you and with some pictures next time. Yeah. So anyway, been watching this guy. I think his name is Jerome. Interesting guy. And then been watching another young guy who's really into Apple products, and he was really excited about the Apple Vision Pro. And so I was going to talk a little bit about that in this video. So let me do that real quick. So again, I don't know if I'm going to be able to set this up to show you my ideas around the Vision Pro. Now, to be very candid, I have not gotten the unit. And it's interesting because it seems like a lot of people, and I can't say what the actual statistics were, but people that got the Vision Pro returned it. Now, they returned it for a number of reasons. One, they were just doing reviews, so they can get views on their channel, which I understand. And some of them probably really couldn't have afforded it to begin with. They put it on their credit card, but then they returned it within the 14-day returning policy of Apple's returning policy. And so they did the reviews, and that was about a month ago. And it was interesting because a lot of people, although they, enjoyed the experience, there was a sense of, well, that was fun, but was it really practical? Could you do real life computing work on it? Even though Apple says it's a spatial computing, whatever that is. I just don't think that it really is going to catch on. And so again, I look at it and I think for me, and again, I know I haven't tried it yet, so I probably have no room to talk. But the putting something on your eyes, covering up half your face, even though you had passed through video video cameras showing you the world, a lot of people just, I don't think it's something that's really kind of going to catch on. And so I was thinking about that in the last few days. And again, watching this other young tech guy, he's kind of reminds me of a young Steve Jobs. I told him, I said, you're kind of channeling Steve Jobs in a lot of your videos. And he really took that as a compliment, which it was meant to be. And he's responded to many of my comments because I say, hey, who is this thing really for? What problems are Apple trying to solve with the Vision Pro? What does it do that other things don't do? And so, I started thinking about it. And again, a lot of people returned the units. And a month into it now, you don't see very many reviews about the Apple Vision Pro. I hate to say it, but it is, and everybody admits it's a first generation product. And I know some of you people aren't really into tech stuff, so you're welcome to skip this part of the video if you want to. But anyway, that is good. That is delicious. Yeah, daylight saving time. You gotta love it, folks. You just gotta love it. So I was thinking that in many ways, the Vision Pro could probably be set alongside things like the Horseless Carriage, the first cell phone, the first mobile phone, and the Vision Pro. Again, if we looked at the first quote-unquote automobile, Horseless Carriage, and thought, well, that's going to be something that's going to be, this particular version will be with us, 100 years from now, which it isn't. And the same thing with the cell phone, the original cell phone. I think you can make a case saying, well, it's just a first version product and it's still looking for a place in the market, And I think that's a lot of what's going to happen. I think this has introduced maybe some interesting tech, but how it will adapt. I hate to use the word evolve because I don't know if that's really a good word, but some people might say evolve, change, to meet certain needs. So people will maybe eventually come back. Now, I can see the Vision Pro possibly, maybe even more an advanced scientific version of it, like an enterprise version that could be used in all sorts of industry things. It would be, maybe you could use it in medicine. A surgeon could probably have that on and have a better clarity as he's operating. Maybe people that look at structures and they on the job site, and they're trying to look at, is this steel? Does it have cracks in it? Is there this thing in danger of actually falling apart because or like maybe an airline looking at the structural integrity of the wings or the fuselage, to check for microscopic fractures and fissions and things like that. So yeah, I could see it definitely have a place in that, and I'm sure maybe they already have some type of a device that already does that. So again, but this was a consumer device, and I've never really done AI. I have to be honest. I tried it out once in a Best Buy store, and it was interesting, but at the time, I think it was like $5,000 to get an Oculus Rift, and I was just like, I'd rather get a new iMac Pro or something like that. So yeah, I just saved my money. But I know a lot of people love the Vision Pro, and some people are really trying to make it work and really trying to find its niche, and say this is a great product, But Apple's had a lot of failures in its history. There's a really great documentary. Maybe if I remember, I'll put the little video link here. But it was a story about the Apple Lisa. And interesting computer, $10,000 back in its day. We're talking back in the 80s. That was a lot of money then. It's a lot of money now. And anyway, the thing was the Lisa just didn't take off. And so then they kind of tried to bury it. And then there was a guy, I think in Idaho or Utah, I think it was. And he was able to buy like 4,000 units of the old Lisas on consignment. And what he basically did was he took this old tech that was like, 10 years out of phase, and he's fixed all these things up, and he started reselling them as the new and improved Lisa, or the Lisa Professional, I think that's what he called it. Fascinating. And he was making some really good money, kept food on his table for him and his family. But then just before, I think Apple, before Steve Jobs, I guess, wanted to release some of his newer iMacs, realized that the Lisa was kind of an embarrassment. He really wanted to get rid of that computer. And so the lawyers from Apple called this dealer in Utah and said, we're coming to reclaim we're going to exercise our clause in our contract with you, and we're going to terminate the contract now, and we're coming to get all the units. And they came and got all like 4,000 units of the Lisa, and they took them to the dump. And that's where they are to this day. I guess you can still find some on eBay, but yeah, for some reason, Apple just was not happy with the Lisas getting a new Lisa on life. Lisa on life. Yeah. And so it's just interesting how corporations work. So whether or not the Apple Vision Pro is going to find its stride, it's going to find a market, a viable market like the iPods and the iPhones and whatever else that Apple has sold and done successfully, even iPads to some extent. Well, it just remains to be seen. So anyway, but I was really fascinated with the Vision Pro. I had a lot of other concerns about the device. A lot of people say it's way too heavy. You get tired. I'm just concerned about the eye damage that could happen, over a period of time. Just like when you wear earbuds, 24 hours a day, you're going to ruin your hearing. So I very rarely wear headphones or earpods. Every now and then I do, but not every day. I certainly don't do it every day. So anyway, but we'll just have to kind of wait and see. But I still think that in some ways the Apple Pro can be maybe placed along the Horseless Carriage, the first cell phone, and the Apple Pro. And we'll just have to see how it evolves or adapts to meet the needs of real consumers. Instead of buying an Apple Vision Pro, I said at the end, when you really stop and think about it, all you're doing is just getting a platform that can give you multiple screens. I've got 1, 2, 3 screens right here in front of me, so why do I need a virtual plethora of screens? And so I love dual monitors. I do love dual monitors. I actually had a triple monitor set up 10 years ago. And so I went out, instead of buying the Apple Vision Pro, I went out and bought another studio display and really like it. It's really enjoyable. And I'm going to be hopefully doing some editing on it later tonight. Yeah. Okay. And then I want to talk a little bit about AI and I'm going to get into some politics here as Pipe Pals. So, you know me. I just saw a wonderful little video of the late, great Rush Limbaugh yesterday, kind of popped up in my queue. And I don't know whether you love him or hate him. I miss that guy. I just never thought I would live to see the day where his voice would be silenced through, death. But he was definitely a force to be reckoned with. He was a American what's the word? He was just an American staple, you know. Everybody knew about Rush Limbaugh. Again, love him or hate him, but he was he certainly made his mark in the world. I wonder what he would have made of AI. You know, it's interesting because Rush and myself, now I never really met the man. I think I talked to him on the phone maybe once. I have a dear friend who actually was kind of a friend of his over the phone. He really liked her comments, and he even gave her lots of Apple stuff, which was kind of cool. But, you know, Rush was somebody, you know, I remember he got the Apple Watch, and I was kind of holding back. I think I held back for about a year before I got the Apple Watch, and it was actually, I was driving to the mall in Chico one morning, and just had some time to kill. I guess I was picking up something at the mall. I forgot what it was now. But he was talking about the Apple Watch, and you know, after about a year of really being hesitant and saying, "What do I need an Apple Watch for?" He kind of made me rethink that, and then I went out and got one, and I have to say I am pretty happy that I have one. I use it for exercise, and people can ping me, and you know, I can sometimes do quick little responses and things like that. So it's a handy tool. I am happy, and the turn-by-turn navigation is also another handy feature, which I really love. So anyway, but Rush was a big Apple fan, just like I am, but he was into tech, big time. And so I wonder what he would think of this recent debacle with AI. Was it Google Genie or something like that, or it was maybe it's actually probably kind of they had to take it back off the air, I guess, because it was really politically incorrect stuff. You know, they were showing, you know, you would ask the Chat GPT or this new Google version of it's sort of like Mid-Journey. That's one of these AI text to image generators. And so it was coming up with all these literally politically incorrect, historically inaccurate images of George Washington and the Pope, you know, and a couple others. I think there's even one of Elon Musk I think I have here. So put these up here and you can see them. But, you know, it was like we have to remember that artificial intelligence isn't really artificial intelligence. It's programmed intelligence. And a lot of these things are programmed by people who clearly have an agenda and a bias, and they're in many ways kind of anti-American, anti-family. They feel like, you know, they got the power, so now they're going to use it, and by golly, they are. Yeah. So anyway, that is so good. Man. Very flavorful. Stop burning my clothes, doggone it. I should wear that jacket. That is so good. So, you know, that was kind of an embarrassment for some of these people. Maybe, I don't know if it'll be another Dylan Mulvaney moment, you know, Bud Light moment, but we'll see. But let me get a little sip of my coffee here. I feel like I'm talking in a cave, and I don't know if that's going to come through on the video itself. If it does, I might be able to fix it. And we'll just have to wait and see. And the last thing I kind of wanted to talk about, and I might be interspersing a lot of some of those other videos that I made along with this one, I don't know. But the videos that I made a couple weeks ago, we're covering the same issues. So I don't know if I will be using any of those segments or not. So we'll just have to wait and see. But I'm doing multicam here, 2 camera angles. and two mics. So again, hopefully you'll get a little stereo recording out of this as well. So the last thing I want to talk about, another love him or hate him type guy, is President Trump. And I just think that people, for some reason, I think, again, I've always tried to figure out, okay, 5 years ago, almost 9 years ago? 8 years ago? Anyway, 9 years ago, 8 years ago, when he was running for the first time, I was not a big fan. I just thought maybe he was kind of, just trying to just get some free publicity by running. And for some reason, I guess, with people kind of attacking him and, trying to say, oh, he's this evil, bad man. He's a racist. He's a this, he's a that. And it just seems like everything that people throw at this guy, whether you like him or not, he really has been able to kind of withstand the trials and tribulations, the slings and the arrows of all these people that are trying to tear him down. And, you got to admire somebody like that. I mean, look at every single blessed thing that they have tried to throw at this man. 2 impeachments and all these indictments, people trying to get money out of him, trying to basically, deplete his political war chest, I guess. But, the one thing that, there were 2 things I guess I was going to say, is that, most normal people, most average run-of-the-mill people can take only so much, and then they just say, that's it, I'm done. And they just walk away. Okay, you won, uncle, I'll say uncle, but not Donald Trump. It's amazing. And, I think in some ways he kind of thrives on some of this negative stuff. And then the other thing that I think is interesting is that a lot of people are now saying, oh, he's an insurrectionist. Folks, he was never convicted for insurrection on January 6th. They know they can't bring a charge against him because it won't stick. So to say that he was convicted, and I've heard a lot of commentators, news personalities, that's what they really are, say that he was convicted of insurrection, and that's why he's ineligible to be on the ballot. That's not true. That is not true. At least tell me something true. And that's the thing. Most of the things that people say, oh, he's this, he's that, it's not been proven. And then the other thing I hear is, well, if Trump becomes president, the world's going to come to an end. I'm going, wait a minute. He was president for 4 years, and the world didn't come to an end. In fact, it kind of got a lot better. So that's all I'm trying to say is that there's a person's opinion, and then there's objective reality. And I don't see an awful lot of reality, objective reality being, attributed to this one person we call Donald Trump. And just think about it. If people were using the justice system and the FBI and the CIA to attack you, wouldn't you feel that somehow that's just not fair? It's a misuse of powers? I think I would, yeah. So anyway, what time do we got here? Only 31 minutes into this. Okay. Well, that's not too bad. I guess after the third or fourth time, I've finally been able to kind of, focus my thoughts a little bit more succinctly, and maybe that's why maybe we'll just end this video here in just a few minutes. Yeah, be a short one. So anyway, I hope you're having a great first day of daylight saving time wherever you are. And whatever pipe story you want to share with me about how you found some comfort in an old briar. With a delicious tobacco that maybe you really enjoy. I really want to look into seeing if I can get some Blue Mountain, because I really did enjoy that one a lot. And then there was also a Balkan Sobrani that wasn't too bad. In fact, a lot of people were really, talking about how wonderful Balkan Sobrani was. I don't even know if they make it anymore, but I guess it was a resurrected blend from, years or decades ago. And I guess somebody found the recipe and tried to remake Balkan Sobrani. I tried it. It wasn't, if I had my choice, I'd take Blue Mountain any day of the week and twice on Sunday. But anyway, I digress. So I'm going to look at these videos. I've got 2 camera angles here, and I'll put them in post and play with the audio and see what I can do to punch that up a bit. And, as I like to say from time to time when I make these crazy old videos, light up your world and light up your pipe. And thanks so much for watching again. And hopefully I'll, I think it's been about 2 or 3 weeks since my last video. And I for a while there, I was kind of making like one every week, but I'm in the season of Lent right now, getting ready for Easter, Pascha. So I'm got a lot of pastoral things that I need to get done. It just, the train never stops. Yeah. Oh, speaking of trains, I don't know why I think of trains, but I think I'd like to watch that new Dune 2 movie. I hear that that's really spectacular. And in fact, it's playing right downtown here in Tahoe City. Boy, maybe. We'll just see. I'm going to, it's a little rinky-dink theater, so it's not like a big IMAX theater. So probably seeing Dune on an IMAX type theater would be really better with great surround sound and all that stuff. So, but anyway, it's a good excuse for a popcorn night, and if you're into popcorn. I've got to watch out. I've been trying to stay away from things like that for the last several months because it just, it breaks my teeth. I'm old, and my teeth are kind of brittle, I guess, and it just, I can crack a tooth quicker than, you can say Jack Robinson. And so it's just like, you know what? Maybe my popcorn eating days are kind of over for now. It's just like, I just need to take better care of my health and excuse me. So, but we'll see. Who knows? Sometimes I get weak kneed, and especially looking at all that buttery, golden deliciousness and the popcorn. So anyway, okay. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you soon in the next one.